It's been called a mysterious time capsule and indefinably magical. For Americans, Cuba has long been considered off-limits. But for decades, the colorful and vibrant Caribbean country has been a place that many want to see, especially some with Cuba in their blood.
I'm passionate about Cuba and wanted to do something connected to my roots.
Rosa Maria Caballero is a senior director for Fathom Travel, a subsidiary of Carnival Corporation. Fathom's 704-passenger Adonia pulled into port in Havana in May, the first U.S. cruise ship to do so in nearly 40 years. Caballero is in charge of the line's on-the-ground experience in its 3 Cuban ports of call: Havana, Cienfuegos, and Santiago.
I reached out to Fathom, what they wanted to do and the opportunity to be part of making history and of bringing Americans to Cuba to understand Cubans, understand the culture, and really bridge the 2 countries again. Americans can see that, we have so much in common. I mean, we're 90 miles away. Our history together is a long and extended history.
It's no secret that it's a complicated history. A recent thaw in diplomatic relations is making it easier for Americans to travel to Cuba, but people to people is still the way to go. And Fathom's daily excursions revolve around interpersonal and cultural exchange.
With the regulations, we are required to do people-to-people programs to set them up. One of the things that I've been most pleasantly surprised by is that people really want that. Our passengers hunger for information and for knowledge and for that interaction.
I wanted to have the deepest, richest experience that I could, so throughout the tours that we had, I looked for times when I could sneak off and pop into a doorway and talk to an artist and practice my Spanish. I found it simple. I wasn't afraid to do that at all.
The immersive experience on Fathom isn't just in port.
We bring something and add something that you can't get if you're doing it on your own. I wanted to do a lot on board with respect to Cuba, and the feedback is that, yeah, people want more Cuba. And I love that because I'm able to, for example, with the Cuban musicians, to extend the experience from the ground onto the ship while we're sailing.
The Cuban bands, the music, the Dominican and Cuban specialties up in the Ocean Grill. I've loved all of it because it's been, they're very, very smart about how they do this. They really craft it in a way that sets the stage for opening up your curiosity and what that looks like, questions you want to be asking as you're going out now into these places. And then, that you weave your story and you come back and you share it. Everything's very intentional, and I appreciate that.
I want that everybody have enough confidence to go on the ground and have that impromptu exchange, that one-on-one interaction with, whether it's a salesperson, somebody at a bar, or having a coffee, whatever it is, that little interaction that's your personal story, that special moment that you will always associate with, possibly your first trip to Cuba. The Cubans are warm, friendly people, and they're so happy to have Americans come visit. There's so many possibilities to bridge and to bring the 2 communities, the 2 countries on a very people-to-people level together.